Today, we're going to crack the code of cinema. We are going to learn the secret language filmmakers use to speak directly to us, to our emotions, a lot of times without us even realizing it's happening. I mean, think about it. Have you ever been watching a movie and bam, your heart is racing during some tense scene? Or maybe you feel that lump in your throat when something sad happens. How do they do that? How do they get inside our heads? Well, it's not some kind of sorcery. It's a language, a visual grammar. Every single choice a filmmaker makes, from the camera's point of view to a quiet little hum in the background, it's all a word in a sentence, and that sentence is designed to make you feel something specific. So in this explainer, we're going to learn the basics of that language. We're going to look at the camera's intentional eye, we'll uncover the hidden architecture of audio, and then we'll dive right into the psychology of light and color. All right, let's get into it. Okay, first up, focus, frame, and feeling. This is all about how the camera isn't just a passive observer. No, it's an active storyteller. So a high-angle shot, right? The camera looks down. Instantly, that character seems smaller, more vulnerable. But then you just flip that perspective. You look up from a low angle, and suddenly that exact same character becomes dominant, powerful, maybe even a little scary. It's this incredibly powerful nonverbal cue about who has the power in the scene. And the same exact thing goes for movement. You pick up a shaking handheld camera, and the scene gets this raw, chaotic energy. It feels immediate, totally visceral. But then contrast that with a smooth, Steadicam shot that just glides effortlessly. That creates a sense of control, of focus. It tells you the character is confident and dominant. The movement itself is literally part of the performance. Okay, let's get into a really crucial concept, depth of field. Now, in simple terms, this is just the zone of focus in an image. How much of the world is sharp and how much is all blurry. And believe me, this isn't just some technical detail. It is a primary emotional tool for filmmakers. So a shallow depth of field with that classic blurry background, it creates intimacy. It just pulls the character out of their surroundings and forces us to focus on their internal world, their emotions. A deep depth of field, it does the exact opposite. It gives us context. It shows us the character and their relationship to the world around them. So what if a director wants to guide your attention while the shot is still happening? Well, that's where the rack focus comes in. It's this deliberate, often super fast shift of focus from one thing in the frame to another. But here's the crucial question. Why do it? Well, a rack focus can connect an internal thought, like a character nervously looking at their hands, to a critical external action, like a door slowly creaking open behind them. It instantly shifts our attention. It can mark a moment of irreversible decision, and it does it all without a single cut. All right, let's move on to the next part of our toolkit, the architecture of audio. Because, and this is so important, what you hear is often more powerful than what you see. And this is just a fundamental truth of media. I mean, think about it. If the audio is bad, your brain has to work overtime just to figure out what's being said. It's exhausting. An audience will totally forgive a slightly blurry shot, but they will absolutely not tolerate bad sound. Getting that clean, powerful sound is a really precise journey. From the actor's voice all the way to your ears, the sound travels through this whole series of steps to make sure it's clear and has emotional punch. Every single step in this chain is crucial for keeping that original performance intact. Now, this is where audio editing gets really masterful. With what's called a J-cut, the sound from the next scene starts before the picture actually changes. It pulls us forward, it builds anticipation. An L-cut does the reverse. The audio from the scene we just left lingers over the new shot, creating subtext and keeping that emotional thread going. So you see, these aren't just fancy transitions. They're what's known as cinematic dialectics. It's a collision of sound and image, where the new meaning that's created is way bigger than the sum of its parts. The magic isn't just in the picture, or just in the sound. It's in that space where they overlap. And for our final section, let's talk about painting with light and color. This is how filmmakers shape the very soul of an image. The quality of the light itself has a huge impact on the mood. Hard light, that gives you sharp, defined shadows. It feels dramatic, intense, really textured. But soft light is all diffused. It wraps around a subject with gentle shadows. It feels calm, romantic, and yeah, it's generally more flattering. The balance of tones is also so key. A high-contrast image with its deep, inky blacks and bright whites feels bold and punchy. But a high-key image, which is made up of mostly bright tones with very few shadows, creates a happy, airy, or even a clean and sterile feeling. The mood is set before a single character even does anything. Now, when you're working with color, there are two really distinct steps. First, you have color correction. This is the technical janitorial work, fixing exposure, getting the white balance right, making everything look neutral and consistent. Then comes color grading. That's the art. That's when you apply a specific look to evoke an emotion, like warm, golden tones for nostalgia or cold blues for isolation.
And this brings us to this really powerful kind of philosophical idea. Color is ideology. What on earth does that mean?
It means that color is never just decoration. A film's color palette signs a kind of emotional contract with us, the audience. It's a visual language that communicates theme, subtext, even a moral point of view. A city that's shown in this desaturated cold blue color, well, that immediately tells you something about its emotional coldness, or maybe its decay. So we've looked at the camera, we've looked at sound, light, and color. But the real genius of filmmaking is understanding that these aren't separate tools that you just pick from a toolbox. They all have to work together, in perfect concert. The shallow focus, the sound that lingers from the last scene, the cold light, and that blue color palette, they all combine to form the complete grammar of one, single, unified, and totally intentional emotional experience. So I'm going to leave you with this final thought. The next time you sit down to watch a movie, are you just going to see a story happening on the screen? Or will you be able to read the language it's using to speak directly to you?